Hi all. So let's have a look at some of the hazards and traps that I've added to the game. The simplest hazard on the left here is just a spike pit. You fall into it and you die. On the right is a variation of the spike pit which has this gate at the top. So if we step on it, it opens and closes. And if we're not quick enough, we can grab onto the edge. We just walk through, and we die. Just add another little thing there. If we just run and grab onto the edge here, if you stay there, you can also get squashed. Now over here, we have some saw blade hazards. So we've got one that's sort of embedded in the wall. And a nice little thing you can do here, you can duck under it. You can hear that the sound gets louder and quieter as the blade passes overhead. And then we can jump over this one. They damage you as expected. I haven't added a blood effect to that one yet. On the left here we've got a trap. So if we step on this platform, we'll see there's a click noise and then a cloud of gas is expelled. So the idea is that the player can hear the audio cue and react quickly enough to avoid the trap. But if they're not paying attention, they'll start coughing and taking damage. And if you run fast enough, you do get through. So if we put it all together. Don't put it together so well there. So that's traps and hazards. Now you may also notice I've been playing a bit with the lighting. Probably easier to tell on one of the levels you've seen before, but really trying to find sort of some mix of clear platforms as well as sort of the sense that you're in a cave and there is darkness. So what I've gone with is basically sort of a foreground layer which is basically lit and it's never going to be affected by lights because it's in front of all the lights. There's a mid-ground layer, which this post is part of, which is affected by lights. Now these candles are not particularly bright or flickery, so you can't tell too much what's going on there. I'll load by the other levels so we can have a look as well. The third layer back is the background and it's actually quite dark. It's affected by the in-game lights, of course. And then on a separate layer of the lighting, we have the character itself. So everything is lit by kind of an overall light, which is used for shadows and everything. The character has a gentle light on it as well, just to make it visible when you're in the dark. But I didn't want it to stand out too much. I did want to have some sort of impact of the scene lighting on the character as well. I think that's probably a little clearer in one of the other scenes you've seen. Which is this one. So if we go right over here, we've got the ambient lighting up a little higher in this scene. As you can see, there's quite a sort of clear effect of the fire, the light from the fire on the objects. And obviously part of this game is that everything is auto-generated, so there'll be lots of variations. So something you might find the same kinds of art in a darker scene. If I open lights and camera, maybe a much darker scene. You'll see the lights, of course, have more effect. We can still see all the platforms because they are lit by themselves. Or separately, I should say. but you can see there's much more effect on the character. But it's still readable even in the dark. And then obviously this will accentuate the effect of the light as well. I won't show you too much of the setup on the hazards and traps. I mean, it's really just using features from Platformer Pro, which you can grab yourself on the asset store if you haven't. But really, I mean, there's nothing too complex about them. Thanks for watching.